time on this short little hike. Wonderful, right next to this little stream, big stream kind of. And it's amazing, there's actually quite a number of other people here shooting video and kind of hanging out. I don't know if they're doing a YouTube thing as well or if it's just me, but having a great time. And you know, I totally understand why other people would be up here right now. It's about the most beautiful day I've seen all week at least. The temperature is wonderful, it feels great up here, and just having a great old time. So, what are you doing? Oh hey, how's it going? Good. So now you were doing a YouTube thing as well, right?
Yeah. Are you doing YouTube?
Yeah, I kind of forgot to mention that. I do a YouTube thing too.
Yeah, we just met down here.
That's right, we did. We're having fun with you guys. This is TheLateBoyScout and Cr0cket20. We're just, we talked about this ahead of time, obviously. This is not spur of the moment, just accidental. We came up here together and we're just having a good time. We've been talking about doing something like this for a while, getting together and doing some sort of hike, some sort of video together. And location allowed it, we're close enough together, and schedule allowed it. And here we are. And we're gonna have a good time, I think.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
See you on the trail. I hope I'm getting everything in this shot that I want to get into it. Whew, boy, it's amazing. It's gorgeous. There's another lake a little bit further up from this one that we originally were talking about going to. Due to time constraints and, I don't know, just kind of wanting to enjoy what we're seeing, I think we're probably going to skip the higher lake, just enjoy our time here for a bit. Myself and Cr0cket20. Crocket's way over there in that rock, filming stuff while I'm filming my stuff. He's a nice guy, by the way. I already knew that based on his channel. But hiking with him, hanging out with him today. Very cool guy. Hope we'll do this again, often, if we can make it happen. Again, this is kind of a heavily traveled lake. Heavily traveled, is that the word? I don't know. A lot of people come to it, a lot of people visit it. It's a popular hike. But that shouldn't necessarily deter you, you know? Just because something's popular and other people go there, doesn't mean it's a place you can't go. Especially with friends, right? And this is the kind of environment, we talked earlier about controlled environments where you're testing gear and testing ideas and how to deal with your environment. It's nice to do that in a controlled environment. By controlled environment, I mean an area where you're outdoors, but you are very, very likely to meet up with other people that can help you if you run into some problems or hurt yourself. And that's what I mean by controlled environment. Semi-controlled environment is a better way to put it. So Crocket was just explaining the Cat0cket hiker to me, and we're about to pull some water out of this nice, beautiful stream. So why don't you go ahead and say what you were just saying to me.
It comes with a lot of little accessories. With this, you can take it and stick it right on top of a 1 liter bottle, and then put the hose up and you're filtering directly into your bottle. Very nice. I've used it once so far and love it. The other addition I like to it is with these water bladders with the quick disconnect, it also comes with that attachment, so you can click it right in like that. And we'll click it in here, pumping right in.
That's freaking awesome.
The one downside I can see to this is kind of what we discussed earlier. I can't remember, it was my camera or yours. But you're going to have to take your water bladder out of your bag.
Oh, sure.
And sometimes, you know, with my system, boy, it's tucked in there pretty good. So a little bit of a downside.
Cr0cket20 is trying out my Survivor for the first time. Actually, this is the first time it's been used.
Now guys, I have a cheap Walmart saw. It's pretty comparable to weight with the Survivor, but this cuts so much better.
And tell me your impression of it when you first grabbed it.
The first thing I picked it up, I thought, wow, that is extremely light. And really compact too. I mean, it's about the same as what I'm using. So they're comparable about weight. They're about the same size once this folds down. but I'll tell you, this cut's
pretty aggressive, isn't it?
It's not even a comparison.
Yeah.
There's no comparison. But in putting it together, I actually had these flipped around, and I was trying to put the saw on it, and it wasn't. I'm thinking, this thing sucks. And then Scout comes over and says, no, it's this way.
We're not doing anything heavy right now. We don't need to, because all we're doing is getting a little bit of stick fuel for this little stove right here. It's going to make us some mountain house meals. We'll cut to that here in a second. That's a hot little tin can. And not because it's a hot day and it's all sunny. It's full of some embers, some ash. I learned this from Wrangler Barn, actually. This was the IKEA utensil holder. I don't know what it's actually called, but it's a utensil holder. You can buy it at IKEA, and it makes a great hobo stove. We just burned up some sticks in there, really nothing big. We kind of trimmed off some limbs using the saw vibra over there, and my Leatherman Juice KF4 has a small saw on it, and that's all we used. And a lot of boiling water going. And we've already dumped it out into a measuring cup. Well, here's the lid for that. Measuring cup's down there. And then dump those into our nice little mountain house meals. And these are going to be ready to eat in just a couple minutes. And this cost me all of $6. To get a stove that costs almost the same amount as the meal you're about to eat, that's pretty cool. And hey, the fuel's free, it's just dead wood laying around. Maybe it's not the best stove out there, certainly not an MSR pocket rocket, but when you're doing this on the cheap, it works. Crocket and I were just talking about some other aspects of this stove. One of the things that's kind of a downside, if you want to consider the downside, it's a bit messy. Here's the bottom of the pot. This thing was brand new about a month ago. Very, very shiny. Look at that. This is probably the third or fourth use on this hobo stove. And it'll just blacken it. But that, as you were saying, is pretty much the case with anything you cook over fire, right?
At least in my experience. Yeah.
In your experience.
Yeah.
Not so much for the propane and butane stoves.
Right.
They're a bit cleaner burning, but also more expensive. So you pay for what you get. So good call, Wrangler Barn. Worked really well. Like it. Well, it's been a wonderful day hike. Anywhere you go outside, you got to be prepared and be prepared for hard things. Testing some gear and just kind of enjoying yourself outside. You got to go prepared, and you can enjoy this kind of beauty, but it's going to be really hard to do that if you're thirsty, and if you're getting sick, and if you're getting hurt, and if you're getting stuck somewhere. One of the biggest things you need to bring with you, in my mind, there are all kinds of preparedness items I've talked about in the past, and lots of other folks have talked about. But if you don't bring somebody with you on a hike, well, that could just screw up the whole thing. So this is my in-field review of the Cr0cket20 hiking companion. Now I've been checking out the Cr0cket20 for some time, and I gotta say, it's I was looking at them online and thinking, yeah, this is a pretty good hiking companion. I bet I could deal with having a companion like this with me on a hike. And it probably, like many things that I buy and check out online, it's a nothing fancy video. I saw Cr0cket20 on a nothing fancy video and thought, yeah, you know what? He does look like a good hiking companion. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up my own Cr0cket20. And it was, I gotta say, I'm well pleased. And he's got, well, let's just talk about the specs here. So, not super tall, but that's okay. You don't need a tall guy. Not super heavy either, so that's something to look for. Then again, you don't have to carry him because he's got his own legs. All right, and boots, which work pretty well. Yeah, all right, so that's cool. And he comes with, he's got a watch, he's got a little paracord bracelet, got a knife over there, a number of other things. Got sunglasses, of course, to keep his eyes protected, and a good little hat to keep his head protected. And you can't really go wrong with a hiking companion like the Cr0cket20, at least from my point of view. And I'm sure there are a lot of great options out there for hiking companions, and some of you have them. and have tried other things, and please go ahead and chime in the comments section and tell me about your hiking companions and how well they're working out for you. But for me, you know, this is the Late Boy Scout giving a positive review on the Cr0cket20 hiking companion. Well worth the price, definitely worth the investment, and I think you'll be happy with them. What do you say, Crocket?